not quite done with Quentin Tarantino because I think the why behind his comments towards Paul Dano is probably very interesting and could have something to do with what Freud would have called a narcissistic injury. Watching Paul act probably opens up a scab for Quentin Tarantino. I think that scab was covering a wound, and that wound is Tarantino's own failed career as an actor. There's a lot of similarity there. I think Paul is someone that's labeled as kind of an outsider. He's not necessarily a leading man. He's not necessarily conventionally attractive. I think Paul's a handsome guy in his own way, and I think Quentin Tarantino is ugly as fucking sin. See, Quentin was a film nerd who I think deep down always wanted to be that leading man in the movies that he was watching. But I think as time passed, Tarantino may have started to notice, the only person casting me is me or one of my friends. This man tends to be the worst thing about his own movies. He cannot act. See, Quentin, being the outsider oddball, tried to overcompensate with his performance, usually by going really big. He tends to be very loud, very obnoxious, very abrasive with his performances. While Paul is someone who's an actually talented performer, and that shows. He has confidence in his performance. He lets it speak for itself. He can be very loud, very big. He also can be very quiet and subtle and effective. He has actual range, something Tarantino never had. I think Quentin looks at Paul and has a Will Smith moment from Fresh Prince towards Hollywood saying, "Why don't they want me, man?" Pretty much every time this guy forced himself into a film, the audience has mocked his performance. When Paul is cast, we're all excited. It's not a gimmick. He is actually talented, and he's someone who has the ability to get in touch with human performances. He can portray empathy. He has a whole range of emotion he can display. At the end of the day, I really think Quentin might just be a jealous little toad, which makes this somehow more pathetic.